Dereva ge Mathias Waiswa nga bali kwolekeragaka. Isimo Lexus abaire amanyiibwa ino nga kazaninkirizibwa okumikutu gimu gayita bantu ng'eno gye yava amala atandike okubita bikamu ebyobufuzi abayirukiriza musaage ed'obwire betusobola okwogera nako wali bitundu byekyanja bino bye batukobye ku itemo lino.
Gavumenti etuyambe ekendeze ku mundu zino eziyitiridde zigenda zikubwa ezivamu amasasi agakuba abantu baffe. Kitwandisabye gavumenti n'omulanga tukuira mu Museveni atutaase atugambire ku basajja be kubanga zino mundu zina kuba za gavumenti.
Mu kunoonyereza okw'amaanyi waliwo n'abavubuka abavuunizibwa ebitongole ebikuuma idembe okusobola okubayambako okunoonenkereza nga babaire bazimbi ku kizimbe ekikaazimbibwa okumpi n'amaka ga Ichuli abaire asula. Oluvannyuma omulambo gwatwalibwa mu mmotoka ye gwayisibwa mu ambulensi ya poliisi otwalibwa mu isipatala eri Mulago okwongera okunoonyerezebwaku wakati mu bukuumi obw'amaanyi era ng'ebifaananyi ebindi bannamakobo tebakkirizibwa kubiwuuta. Omwogezi wa poliisi mu Kampala n'emirano Luke Wesigire akakayisa itemo lino nga bwe yakolebwa ow'ekika ky'emmundu kya SMG. Omubaka wa pulezidenti w'Enakawa Sheikh Kasim Kamugisha bino okumugwa mu matu n'okulumuka ddala okujja okubona olubaire era nga mu kwogera ku niife atukobere ku nteekateeka deboolekera okutamunkola okubona nga balwanisa itemo lino mu bitundu by'Enakawa.
Obukulembeze bwa KCC especially both political and technical bagifuule police ento omuntu bw'aba azimba amaka mu Kampala abwe tugamba nti akole paving enyumba mpaka ku luguudo abeera ku main road omuntu abeere ne kamera ku makage.
Ono agumiza ino abataka mu kitundu kino nti bonga gavumenti enembeera tebatiisa wabula baakulwana masadde okubona nga buli kimu kisobola okuga.
Abantu babeere bakakkamu. Eno sijita insecurity nzijita criminality. Kubanga Uganda border to border eri secure. Naye kino kivuddewo bano bantu abatalina mpisa abagala kunywa omusaayi gw'abantu.
Omugenzi Enchuli aziikibwa olunaku olwaleero munnamungi w'omuntu wali ku kyalo ky'e Katwe ekyaganibwa enkokonjeri mu disitulikiti y'e Buyikwe.
Ku Baba TV program Ganga Muka Benedicto Ayomi abaira akwirira mu emboozi yaife bwe yali nga baakamala okuyita isima ebyali ku scene n'ebyayiririire. What remains, like all other matters, are the questions that remain unanswered every time there's such a commitment of heinous crime. What happened? Who is responsible? What is being done? I'm just getting reports now that police has discovered some explosives around in Abweru that were being planned to be used somehow in the city. The UPDF has quickly said the persons behind these explosives planned to use them in the city center here in Kampala with the name of painting the city red. I don't know what that means, but I've read from the Twitter handle. If you're near your phone, you can go and check on the Twitter handle of the UPDF spokesperson and read what is there. It's quite disturbing. The UPDF spokesperson, Afande Felix Kulaije, has written something that I'm looking for here to show. Let me see. Okay, it reads from Afande Felix Kulaije, UPDF spokesperson. Okay, defense spokesperson. It says, explosives found in Nabweru on the road to Kazo. These were to be used today in the city by those planning to paint it red. The media should go and see for themselves. That's a tweet by the UPDF spokesperson just this morning, 9 minutes ago, a few more than that minutes ago. I can read again, because when you read it first time, you may not know the meaning, but when you read it carefully for the second time, you may hear some bells ring in your mind on what could be the problem. Explosives found in Nabweru on the road to Kazo. That's reporting. Somebody has reported, the UPDF spokesperson, that explosives have been found in Nabweru on the road to Kazo, full stop. The second statement, which is very interesting, these were to be used today in the city by those planning to paint it red. It's there. Thank you. Thank you very much. You can read for yourselves. Now, two things to examine. Explosives found in Nabweru. What type of explosives? That's one. Number two, explosives would be a serious security threat to the city and the country at large. And I think apprehending those behind it would be of great interest to the state and the investigators. Is it okay, or would it not be better that these people are arrested quietly? The UPDF and other agencies handle them and quietly interrogate them and later give us a report. Why should it be reported outrightly? And it seems that investigations have been done in the same minute. These were to be used today in the city by those who were planning to paint it red. Why red? What's wrong with red? What is meant by trying to paint it red? Are they planning, is it a group of protesters that plan to put on red attires to broadcast a certain message? Or is the red associated to a particular political party? You know, UPC and NUPA using red. Is the intention to associate the criminality of those, by those found with explosives, to UPC or NUP? The questions you need to find out. What's planning to paint it red? What is it? Is there a protest? If so, who is protesting what and why red? And why report it so quickly like that and then conclude? I believe that this is very sensitive information that our security agencies would handle, analyze, and later. Explosives found in Nabweru on the road to Kazo. Full stop. The assertion. These were to be used today in the city by those planning to paint it red. It means that those arrested have given security information that we are heading to the city center to cause mayhem and paint the city red. Are investigations done that quickly and conclusions drawn that quickly? If so, why have the conclusions on the other more bigger crimes delayed? Then Afande Felix Kulaije concludes and says the media should go and see for themselves, which means the explosives are still left there the persons behind the explosives are still there, and Afande is telling the media to rush very quickly to go and see the explosives for themselves and perhaps interact with those who planned to cause mayhem in the city themselves. That would be simplistic. It's a bigger crime. That the place should now be cordoned off. Serious investigations launched in the area. Where did these people get these explosives? What type of explosives? What are the motives? It is not something that you can easily say, let the media go for them. Does this statement not now preempt the investigations? Anyway, that's my interpretation or my analysis of the statement, because in the profession I have studied, two things are important. One, selection. Number two, salience. How did somebody select these statements and the words to be used in these statements? What did he intend to mean? And number two, why give prominence to the painting of the city red?
Wow. Tweet by the UPDF spokesperson. According to me, been listening to what you've been saying, but if you happen to look at it very well and critically, you come to realize that maybe the essence of painting the city red, it being affiliated to explosives, wherever there is an explosion, people tend to lose their lives. There is bloodshed, there is so much blood. So this blood could be the symbol of painting the city red in case of an explosion in the city. Abantu balijava mu omusaayi, ebintu bilijava. We witnessed it waneno ku Buganda Road, walenga ku CPS mu kibuga ky'e Kampala ne wano nga ku Parliamentary Avenue. Bwe waliwo okubaluka, so many people lost blood and that area was taken to be a blood area. So if you happen to look at it, it's not to do with maybe the party that is trying maybe to plan a riot or a demonstration. It's not to do with that. Is according to my analysis.
So the red in this case
is blood.
Would be that people who intended to shed blood.
People who intended to carry the explosives from Nabweru Kazo Road, because they were going to use them in the city today by the people planning to paint it red. Maybe.
Now the painting red, the issue is now painting red. You are saying that painting red
is associated to blood
is
after the explosion. Yes, after the explosion.
They intended to kill many people and see blood, the whole city.
Bloody and blood everywhere. So if you happen to look at it, Burunji, it is not to do with the party color, UPC, it's not to do with... You know,
so you talk about a bloodshed, that some people intended to cause bloodshed
by exploding or by bringing these explosives from wherever they've been found.
To come and kill people?
So there is blood
and see blood
in the city. So now the city is being painted red. Not the color you're putting on, no, because at least we've seen this happen. Not UPC, not NOP, but it comes back.
So painting the city red
is bloody.
Was meaning
shedding,
causing bloodshed in the city.
Yes. Look at it critically and analyze Kulaije's statement.
So Kulaije talks about
people planning
likely murders in the city.
Yes.
And the likely bloodshed, and down waters down thing to paint the city red.
Explosives found in Nabweru on the road to Kazo. These were to be used today in the city by those planning to paint it red.
Paint the city red.
They were going to use them in the city by those planning to cause or planning to paint it red. That is in my perception of his statement. Nonetheless,
I want to
the way of communication.
I want to contest your assertion because there are reports that some people plan to protest today. Against what they were calling an economic lockdown. Did you hear that? There are reports that people intended to demonstrate in what they called an economic lockdown. This was planned, this has been planned since April. Economic lockdown.
Yes.
So if Afande Kulaije really simplifies, demystifies bloodshed in the city through simple statements like painting the city red, the word paint the city red would be lighter if he referred to unintended bloodshed.
Yes. Demonstration, I doubt whether these guys came up with a customized kind of dress code that maybe we are meant to put on red so that we make the city red. No, I doubt, because everyone is welcomed, it being a peaceful demonstration. But
I do not think it is Kulaije who planned to make the city red.
No.
I believe that he's getting information from those arrested.
Yes.
That their intention was to come and paint the city red.
Yes, by bringing the explosives in the middle of the city. Take the look at the incident of the bombing at Buganda Road and then Parliamentary Avenue. In fact, I lost my Obin in that kind of incident. He was a police officer. So anyway, there was too much blood. And it is the same thing that was going to happen today. Singa dino explosives badirese wagati muchibuga. Dayabikira mtawuni. We would be seeing blood.
So you think that my thinking that Kulaije intended to mean that supporters of any group, be it a political party or protest group, wanted to put on red and make sure that they cause mayhem in the city, that everybody runs out of the city and only the protesters take over the society. It is red everywhere. Is a wrong assertion.
Well said. It's an assertion and I cannot really prejudice what you've said, but it is kinda limited to a political party or politics affiliation stuff. We need to critically look at the statement, analyze it, and then see what he might have
in my
intended.
mind, I thought that Kulaije intended to communicate that protesters belong to one group. I'm not saying political. It could be political. That's why I said UPC or NUP. Or it could simply be a group of protesters who simply choose to use the red color as a symbol of the protest. He intended to attack the city.
No. No. The essence of painting the city red is to do with bloodshed.
If any group
where there is an
intended
explosion,
to cause bloodshed,
where there is an
city,
explosion, we expect blood flowing out of people, gushing out of people.
If bloodshed that qualifies to say painting the city red would mean that it is so widespread that there is death in every other part of the city, that wherever you look, there is blood.
And
such a magnitude of crime cannot be talked about in a simple tweet like the one.
There is a possibility. That is why Kulaije is calling upon the press, journalists, to go there and see the kind of weight of the explosives. We are here, we do not know the kind of explosives these guys had or they have in their custody. Debagaine nabweru oba ekazo. We are not certain of obuzito bwado nabungichi and how powerful. Bayinza okuba baditegeike nga balijata kwena kivubo bateku ewakiseka dindi badire ku parliament batwale ku mupaka enkaire. We do not know. We are not yet certain. But then it is implicative.
Is it possible, therefore, that someone intending to cause trouble in the city to the magnitude of killing people would want to make a clear identity of himself?
There is a possibility. It's just a threat.
That we are coming to
it's
listen
a
to
warning.
kill people,
It
to throw explosives.
is a direct warning. By the way, Uganda government has gotten some good kind of intelligence. they managed to discover this before it really happened. Nonetheless, until they failed to discover people behind the shooting.
Anyway, this and more remain the questions in our minds. I've been asking myself, how have we failed to secure this part of Kampala? You know, for all the time I've been in Kampala, I've lived so much on the other side of the northern part of Kampala. Northern. And I realized that many of the murders we have witnessed happen this side. You remember Chanja, now where Charles Sengola was killed. Chanja is Nakawa.
Yes.
Chanja, where Isma was killed. Chisota, where
Katumba
Wamala survived Narale and his daughter killed. Is this other side after that northern bypass.
Kulambiro Chisasi Kulambiro, Andrew Felix Kawese. Which is not too far from Chiwatule where Kajezi was also killed. Yes.
So there is a need for security to, I don't know, to map out this other side of Kampala and find out why have we had many of the murders or these other terrible crimes in the northern part of Kampala as opposed to the southern, western, and or eastern. And just after the roundabout, the Kisasi roundabout going, it's actually when you're northern bypass, drive through all the bypasses or the roundabouts, that when you make the roundabout around Kisasi and go that direction, these are more than one case, and more than two cases, and more than three cases. There is a statement that either this side is more insecure. Questions to ask about the cameras installed that side, their functionality. Why have the criminals found it easier to trap their targets from this other side and not where else?
Maybe they found that the victims or the intended people to fall victim of the shooting all reside this side. And you look at it, and most of them have been shot either to their working places or from outside.
What would a sober government do if such crimes happen in one place time after time?
It
would it not be tighten security, intensify policing, install good security cameras, intensify patrols in that area?
For how long will it be done? We've seen this happen.
For how long is government mandated to protect citizens?
And just like you're saying, it is the same kind of intelligence people behind these shootings use to discover the loopholes in the security of the government. So they base on this to take advantage of maybe the northern part of Kampala.
We call for tolerance, respect to lives, and respect to divergent opinion. I believe certainly that somebody did say yesterday at the burial of Isma that there's a lot of anger. I think it was the Vice Chancellor of Victoria University, Mr. Muganga. I think the anger, there's too much anger. We need to listen to each other. We need to accommodate each other. We need to accept divergent views from each other, because we have said things differently. We will all speak different things, because two people who agree all the time simply mean that one of them is not necessary. So this means there's some interest to take. We must take interest in this, in what's happening. I believe that, according to me, that there are questions we need to answer. Police must take in interest. First of all, I now want to think about what Nsereko said when Mr. Anselek was introducing the Computer Misuse Act, we were quick to conclude that he intended to muzzle freedom of speech that was going on by many of those using internet, the bloggers and the like. I now want to think again that perhaps a law on computer misuse that intended to check how we use the internet could prevent us from saying certain things, and in one way prevent us from venting out our anger carelessly. I have heard many people talk about, first of all, when ISMA, I remember the ISMA, not as one person have been following. There are people have not been following, because when people speak about certain things and use a lot of anger, they sound tribalistic, that kind, I tend to save my heart from the pain that comes from there. That's why even there's another international idiot who used to speak and people would listen here. Who is that one?
Don't talk of Fred Rumbuye.
That's the guy.
Why you refer him to international idiot? Is that the best word to use when describing someone of his caliber?
Okay, what did you want me to say?
Do we by any chance know the kind of people that follow this so-called international idiot?
Okay, I can withdraw that very quickly and now say, those of you who fall, Honorable Senior Intellectual Fred Rumbuye.
Musomesa. He's gotten that title of a Musomesa. So many people.
Is he a professional teacher like me? Or you call him Musomesa because of the rubbish, because of the presentations?
There is a guy that asked me, who is a teacher? To you, who is a teacher?
Anyway, for us, Musomesa, we said credibility is like virginity lost once. The reports that Mr. Fred Rumbuye has been giving all the time have tended to prove that he's not as researched as he intends to impress us.
And he has always been coming out to plead sorry
That's
for
one.
his misleading kind of communications.
I see many bloggers speak, but man, there are people who speak sometimes and you feel like you're bursting. That we have this space to reason. We thought space would be for you to reason. For example, if they say Muyanga Lutaya is, for example, homosexual, and then Muyanga Lutaya is on Twitter or any internet space trying to defend his position, I'd expect others to come and debate him and say, know what you're doing as an African is not good. Then now people quickly conclude to start abusing and insulting. There is a guy on it, it's called who? It's called, there's some guy called, Cholera, something of that nature. The other day I had Bebe who talk about him. I don't know the guy, but I know somebody called me and said, hey you, have you heard what Cholera is saying? I said, Cholera? You said, Cholera. He's working for himself. I said, no. There's somebody called Cholera saying these things about you. And then he sent me a clip of what the guy had said. I listened and said, oh, Jesus Christ. So I asked my friend, so did you have time to listen to this guy and watch him all through? He said, yes. I said, oh,
yes.
I don't have time to watch that. I wouldn't even continue.
No, but do you know what it means? One, apparently people find alternatives and all ways of getting viewers and followings. So at the end of it, they are paid some money. So it's regardless of the kind of information they are giving to the public, it being authentic.
I told my friend that Mr. Yekura must thank me
for giving him content,
for speaking rubbish. Because he said I was speaking rubbish and that. Because if I had not spoken that rubbish, then he would have nothing to respond on. So I was happy that I had created nonsense and rubbish for he, the depositor
to get
of rubbish, for he, the processor of rubbish for he, the receiver of nonsense, to get work to do.
And just like
And
you,
I considered him to the refused trucks in the city.
when did you last see them
The
close to
refused trucks in the city. Because the work of Nabugabo Updeal is to collect the rubbish and garbage that we generate every day. That should do us, one day everybody choose to stay with their garbage inside their houses, Nabugabo Updeal will have no work. So I was happy that I generated garbage,
So Nabugabo
nonsense,
got
and rubbish,
something to do.
so that Nabugabo Updeal, this Nabugabo,
the
that
garbage collector
that garbage collector
got something to do,
work to collect.
not someone who cut a tree, which was the source of his employment. But do you believe it? Just the way you look at it, there are so many people out there looking at you
The same way.
the same way.
Sure.
Oh, it's good you don't go through these tweets and maybe some other
There
comments
are
on
people who
different.
think I am equal to Lumbuye.
They don't equalize you to Lumbuye, but it depends on someone's perception.
That's
Some
what
people
you
be.
said. There are
Some
people
they
out
look at
there.
you like Lumbuye, but then the grading sometimes may vary. Somewhere, somehow, you may be greater than
That
the
they treat
Lumbuye,
my content.
according to them.
They treat my content
Worse
with the
than
same-
Lumbuye. Where do you suppose these guys of
Worse-
opposition
worse
get
than Lumbuye.
all the audacity
Yeah,
to
man.
stand
What
on
are you
their
saying?
2 legs to abuse and reciprocate your words?
That
What
they
is
look
the basis? What is the basis of the opposition guys? More so, the noob that you don't like. What is their basis? Where do they get the? Where do they get the
They look at
audacity
my
to
content.
reciprocate your words?
They look at my content as equal to Lumbuye's content.
I don't want to say that. It is better we make research. Gangamuka tulikuida tovao.
Eno ni Gangamuka ku Baba TV. Eno ni Baba TV, obusoga bulaire.